The Chiefs are getting ready for their 5th primetime game, Monday Night Football in the Kingdom, with the Baker Mayfield-led Buccaneers in town. Our PFF analyst joins us now to break things down. What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Happy Wednesday. I'm Hayley Lewis, and this is Chiefs News Daily. The Chiefs still not talking today because it is a Monday Night Football game. They shift things by one day, so we'll hear from head coach Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes tomorrow. So today, we bring you a PFF lead draft analyst. We got Trevor Sikkema joining us on the show to talk through all things Bucs and Chiefs, but also, are the Chiefs done with the trade ahead of the NFL trade deadline? We're going to discuss it all now, but first, like and subscribe right here on the KCSN YouTube channel, and let's get into this one. Trevor, the Chiefs like to keep it interesting. This morning, I actually woke up and I thought, there's really nothing to talk about. We have the Bucs preview and nothing really outside of that, and then Jeremy Fowler decides to go out and tweet about how the Chiefs might not be done shopping around, especially at the cornerback position. So the Chiefs bring in DeAndre Hopkins. The Chiefs bring in Josh Uche. Brett Veach, in my opinion, has done enough. But do they need someone at the cornerback position? And who is even available? So that's the question for you, really, is do you think the Chiefs actually have the potential to maybe shop around with, $300,000 left in salary cap?
Well, the cap is a myth, as a lot of general managers will tell you. You can navigate the cap in a lot of different ways. Now, they're not like New Orleans Saints territory of like $81 million over the cap. So I think, being right around even in the cap floor is okay. You can figure out how to move some money in other ways. And you're right. I think that people would look at Kansas City and say, you got DeAndre Hopkins, you traded for Josh Uche. Like, what more could you ask a GM to do?
Right.
But they're in historic waters here, right? They're going for a three-peat. It's never been done before. If you have the opportunity to go get a corner, a defensive back, for an example, go do it. 100%. Like, they are as all in gets. Truly, if you're Kansas City, there's no tomorrow, in my opinion. There are so few teams in the NFL that ever would get the opportunity, let alone a legit chance to once again be favorites for the Super Bowl, the way the Chiefs have the opportunity to do so now. And so, I really, a lot of people bring up J.C. Horn. I don't think they're going to make that big of a splash if they J.C. Horn. The Panthers already traded away Deontay Johnson. I'm sure they might be fielding calls for Jadeveon Clowney as well, because the season hasn't gone the way that they have wanted it to. To go get Horn, it would cost a pretty penny, not only in the contract you would have to give him very soon, but also in draft pick compensation that Carolina would want. I don't think Veach is going to go to that length, but, a couple of days ago, the Rams made Tre'Davious White available for trade. He was one of the top corners when he was with Buffalo many years ago before he got hurt. And so he's not the corner that he was then, but he is a veteran. And I think that that's what's really important about him potentially fitting with the Kansas City Chiefs is if he comes in, it can't just be any corner. This is a defense that is complex, that is fast, there's no second guessing involved, and it's tough to teach younger guys how to be able to do that right away. Tre'Davious White, I think he's been around the block. He's been in the NFL a long time. He's played for two really great organizations. Now with the Rams and the Buffalo Bills, the Chiefs would be a third, obviously. And so he is somebody who I think could actually fit into this defense when I think about guys that they've had.
Okay, so when we look at the secondary that the Chiefs have right now, you mentioned needing the maturity, people who could come in and learn a very deep playbook that Steve Spagnuolo has put together for them. You have Trent McDuffie, who we're all hot on that guy. Who could be potentially better than him or better fit to fill in the void left behind by L'Jarius Sneed? Jalen Watson playing across from him obviously is now on the IR after breaking his ankle. So you have Joshua Williams, you have Najee Johnson, who's now in concussion protocol, and you also, I'm losing the third name.
Ja'Marr Connor.
Thank you. And so do you think that rotation is enough? Say Veach doesn't make a move. Do you think that the Chiefs secondary has enough?
Yes, I think that they're good enough right now. Obviously, anytime that you can go out and get a depth guy that's going to be able to help you, you try to explore those options. But if they're not able to make a move at the deadline, I think they're okay. Because like you said, it starts with Trent McDuffie, and then I think the other guys, they're always put in really good positions to succeed. Now, when you had Jalen Watson out there, it's easier because you're even deeper at that group. But I think that you do have the personnel available to compete week in and week out, if you will, especially as long as McDuffie is in.
When you discover a new binge-worthy show or a song that you bump on repeat and you have to share it with your friends so they can experience just how awesome it is? That's kind of what it feels like when you discover Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. That's such an awesome deal. There's no way you can keep it to yourself. Friends don't let friends overpay for wireless. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plan and switch to Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you and your squad with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/KCSNCND. That's mintmobile.com/KCSNCND. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/KCSNCND. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
What do the Buccaneers have coming to Kansas City being so banged up offensively?
Well, they're very comfortable running the offense through Cade Otton, their younger tight end. And so I think that it's going to be a lot of Cade Otton here in this game. I mean, Jalen McMillan, their rookie from the 3rd round, they're really excited about, but he has been off to a slow start here in his NFL career. He's had a handful of drops. A lot of the Washington guys actually struggling, and a lot of people like them coming out of the draft, myself included. But it's been a little bit slower of a start for those guys, and it's now an opportunity for McMillan to really step up. Sterling Shepard is a name that has floated around the league for a couple of years, but his chemistry with Baker Mayfield goes back to their days at Oklahoma, and so he's going to be a wide receiver 1 for them. A lot of what the Bucs are going to do is honestly on the ground, though. Like Bucky Irving, I think their rookie running back's playing very, very well. They like Sean Tucker as well, who had over 100 yards against New Orleans Saints a couple of weeks ago. Rashad White is a versatile back who can not only be great when you're handing the ball off to him, but also in the receiving game too. And so that's really where I think the Bucs want to emphasize most of their offense, is making sure they establish the run first, because anytime you lose your top 2 wide receivers, especially to the caliber of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, there's no easy replacement. Everybody likes to say, oh, it's next man up mentality. I mean, let's be honest, it's not next man up when you lose Mike Evans and Chris Godwin in the same game. It's impossible. You have to shift what you do. But I will say, I've been very impressed with Liam Cohen, their offensive coordinator this year, and what he is able to do, how much confidence he has been able to instill in Baker Mayfield, whether he's had those 2 wide receivers out there or not. It was still a competitive Bucs offense last week against the Atlanta Falcons. And honestly, if the Bucs defense wasn't as terrible as it was last week, they probably win that football game. So even without those 2 top receivers, they're still able to move the ball well. Even on the road, I think that could be the case. Now, they're going up against a really good defense, but I wouldn't look at this Bucs team and just say, we feel sorry for them. They're not going to score a lot of points. You got to come out and stop this offense, especially with a guy like Baker Mayfield who's playing as confidently as he is.
Now, you brought up the defense, and that was going to be my second point, was trying to say, where would the mismatch be? Because when you look at the Bucs defense, I would think, oh, okay, well, you're going up against a Patrick Mahomes offense, so obviously this would be the mismatch. But the offense hasn't been cooking the way that it typically, I guess, people would expect for Patrick Mahomes. But then you bring in DeAndre Hopkins, and we see a little more of those flashes where they're able to get through the red zone issues that they've had. Do you see that being the biggest mismatch, or maybe where would you pinpoint it in this game?
Yeah, forget DeAndre Hopkins. Justin Watson revenge game. He's going off for 200 against his former team. No, I don't think that's going to happen, although I do think that Justin Watson's a good player. Look, the area that I am really nervous, as a Tampa Bay native myself, going to be watching this football game, is the Bucs linebackers trying to cover the Chiefs tight ends, particularly Travis Kelce, who's coming off of the best game that he has had yet this season. But we know that the tight end room and just the middle of the field, I would say, is really deep, and it's an area that the Chiefs are not afraid to go after and to attack consistently. You don't find many quarterbacks that are as good attacking over the middle of the field as Patrick Mahomes is. And the reason why it makes me nervous is because the Bucs linebacker Shavassi Dennis went out for the season about 3 or 4 weeks ago. They've had to play KJ Britt and the Russell as well, the 3rd linebacker there, and they've been bad in coverage. And I think that them being a liability in coverage has also sort of brought Levante David down in coverage, because he's been trying to make up for it, and there's just only so much ground that you could cover. Through the last 4 weeks of the NFL season, the Bucs have the lowest coverage grade in the league when covering tight ends at 29.4 out of 100. Like, it's a really bad score. They're not good at it. When it comes to like receiving backs out of the backfield as well, they're struggling with that. Just their linebackers are good between the tackles. They're good at stopping the run. When you ask them to cover, they're really struggling without Dennis next to Levante David. And so that is a major area where the Bucs are weakest, and something that I think Kansas City is going to know going.
All right, guys, that does it for another episode of Chiefs News Daily. As always, like and subscribe right here on the KCSN YouTube channel. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we'll see you back here on Thursday.